Hey folks, it's the holidays. And what's a holiday favorite? Eggnog. But what if you have dysphagia? What if you need your liquids thickened? I'm so glad you asked, and I'm happy to show you because if it's aqueous, I will thicken it. So let's say you need to have your liquids thickened too. Mildly thick. I'm so glad you asked. So, because eggnog is already thick, before I begin, I need to check it and see how thick it is to begin with. And basically that will allow me to adjust my recipe so that I can make sure that I'm serving somebody a safely mildly thick beverage. And this is some of the beauty of the International Dysphagia Diet Standardization Initiative, is we have tools that we can test the thickness. So if I fill this up to 10 milliliters, I let it run for 10 seconds, it's going to tell us how thick this is. And then it will allow me some time and some calculations to make some adjustments because I know that eggnog is already naturally thick. And you can see this is really right on the line between slightly thick and mildly thick. So to me, it isn't either. It isn't slightly thick and it's not mildly thick. And so it needs to be thickened just a hair. So rather than telling you to try and use half a stroke with 4 ounces, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up to, say, 7 or 8 ounces, and I'm just going to add 1 dose to the pump for that. And I think that's going to just add enough little thickness that it will be mildly thick when we're done. And so knowing your thickener, knowing that the normal dosing is 4 ounces and 1 pump stroke makes it mildly thick when you go from thin to mildly thick, I know that if I just take this, to 6, 7, 8 ounces, I'm going to go with 7 so I can actually mix and not spill all over the place. And then I can do just some gentle mixing that this will thicken it to mildly thick, and I'll be able to enjoy that eggnog at just a little bit thicker consistency than it comes from the manufacturer. And that's kind of the interesting thing about a holiday beverage like this, is that it is already almost mildly thick, and it's something that people crave. And so that's really what we're doing more thickening liquids, is we're trying to make it more inclusive so that people can enjoy the beverages they've always enjoyed at the holidays, just like everybody else. So this doesn't take very long when you mix it in, and then you make it thick. And I think that's pretty much done already. But we have that testing method so we can double check and make sure that it is properly thickened to mildly thick. So I'm going to add the 10 milliliters back, and I'm going to run the test. And we'll see how it flows. Yeah, it's going to be moderately thick. So you see I overshot. So this allows you to do some adjusting. I could add some more eggnog to this and I'll dilute it down. I'm going to grab another cup. So now that I have another cup, I am just going to add some eggnog here. And so sometimes with these holiday favorites and other beverages, you got to play around a little bit to get it just right. And that's not really a problem. It's just the way things are sometimes with getting things just right. And I always maintain that the International Dysphagia Diet Standardization Initiative is wonderful for this because it allows us to make these adjustments to get it right for the person. Now, people who are on mildly thick liquids, generally speaking, can drink a moderately thick liquid as well. So they could have just taken the eggnog as it is and just been like, well, it's eggnog. It's a little thicker than usual. And instead, I'm going to try and dilute this down a little bit and to try and get it right. I think there's a lot of reactive proteins inside the eggnog. So I'm not able to make it mildly thick. It's right on the cusp. So I would add just a little bit more a little more eggnog, and dilute it down just a little bit more, and then I think we're going to get there. So I don't look at this as a failure. This is just the interesting challenges you run into when you're trying to make beverages for people with swallowing problems. And eggnog is just one of these weird ones that behaves a little bit uniquely. So if during your holiday parties you're having fun trying to get this right, don't feel bad. This is what happens in the process of discovery and experimenting and getting things to the right thickness. So now this is definitely between 4 and 8 milliliters. This is definitely mildly thick. And so we finally have it exactly where we want it. and we can serve it this way, and it'll be mildly thick eggnog. So folks, please like and follow for more great content just like this.